Deals for college athletes, making that legal.
You're not going to like my answer.
Well, no, I don't have a preconceived opinion.
Well, I guess my point is I want to study the subject in depth, and I have not to understand all the intricacies of it before I answer, because I have a personal opinion on a surface level understanding, but I'd rather do a deep dive before I answer your question.
And the personal opinion is something you're just not going to give up right now.
It's personal. Yeah, but I'm happy to have the discussion once I've done a deep dive and understand all the different perspectives and challenges and issues with it. I just don't want to throw out something that I haven't thought through.
Okay.
Us selling a dream that had not come into reality yet, I think people see it, they feel it, they see it, so that helps. And I would say we probably get less tough questions. You know, when we got here, as we've talked about before in the past, we would get some tough questions, and for the most part, we would answer the questions very direct and transparent, and people usually were pretty comfortable with that and moved on. But I think that's probably the biggest difference. We get less of those tough questions that we used to get when we first got here. It helps. I mean, obviously you prefer to be talking about things that you have control over. You know, our graduation rates, the success of the guys on the field, our total development of our players, you know, talking about the NFL, talking about graduation rates, all those types of things, rather than things that are outside of your control or outside of your time frame.
James, you have
Pitt until like 2030. The fact that the rivalry has been so good the last 2 years and has 2 years to go, is that a little disappointing that you can't regenerate anything sooner, or is it fine with you as far as?
I think it depends on how you're looking at it. I mean, if you're looking at the Pitt-Penn State series as just the Pitt-Penn State series, yeah, it's been fantastic. It's been awesome. There's an excitement. There's a buzz about it. I think it's really good for the state of Pennsylvania. You know, obviously, you know, we're keeping a game that has some historical value to it as well. So all those things are wonderful. But when you're talking about Penn State doing what's best for Penn State based on the 9-game model and the previous model that didn't allow us to play 1AA opponents, I don't know if it makes a whole lot of sense. You know, strength of schedule is a huge part, or was supposed to be a huge part of the selection committee. That really hasn't panned out. You know, you wouldn't necessarily say that after looking at it the last couple of years of how that's played out. So I think what you have to do is, based on your institution and based on your program, you got to do everything in your power to be undefeated and to win your conference championship. All the other variables, you can't control them. So do everything you possibly can, especially when you play in the Big Ten East. Give yourself the best chance to win your conference championship and be undefeated. All the other variables, they're going to change year to year, because there's going to be different people that come off the committee and people that come on the committee, and they're all going to have their own personal biases. So, you know, for me, you know, if Pitt makes sense and it helps us with that, then wonderful. But you know, for me, that's really what I'm looking at. I'm looking at what can we do to put Penn State in the best position to win conference championships and to have a chance to get into the playoffs. And if Pitt equals into that equation, then wonderful. Yeah, I think, you know, one of the things that I would say to that is, you know, we've lost a number of assistants for lateral moves, and that can't happen. You know, obviously, you know, guys leaving for promotions. You know, Coach Moorhead going to Mississippi State. I mean, awesome. You know, I want that for him. I want that for his family, and he's going to do a great job. So, you know, what we got to do is we got to make sure that we're not losing assistants for lateral moves. If they're leaving to become coordinators, leaving to become head coaches, then that's wonderful. But at a top 10 program like we are now, we shouldn't be losing programs for lateral moves.
Accurate to say that happened with Sean, that you prevented it from happening, or not?
We've had multiple coaches get opportunities. Some coaches we lost for lateral moves, and some we were able to retain. Okay. Yeah, I think, you know, one of the things that I would say to that is, you know, we've lost a number of assistants for lateral moves, and that can't happen. You know, obviously, you know, guys leaving for promotions. You know, Coach Moorhead going to Mississippi State. I mean, awesome. You know, I want that for him. I want that for his family, and he's going to do a great job. So, you know, what we got to do is we got to make sure that we're not losing assistants for lateral moves. If they're leaving to become coordinators, leaving to become head coaches, then that's wonderful. But at a top 10 program like we are now, we shouldn't be losing programs for lateral moves.
Accurate to say that happened with Sean, that you prevented it from happening, or not?
We've had multiple coaches get opportunities. Some coaches we lost for lateral moves, and some we were able to retain.
Okay.
Is it